nurse in Maine is challenging her quarantine order.
I completely understand that the state's purpose is to protect the state of Maine.
She's tested negative twice for Ebola after returning home from West Africa. Health officials say they're prepared to take her to court. NATO officials are worried. Russian fighter jets and bombers have been spotted flying over Europe. Officials say it's an unusual level of activity. And baseball celebrations turned to violence in some areas of San Francisco. The Giants won the World Series last night, beating the Kansas City Royals. Hi, and welcome to Humber News. I'm Travis Pereira, coming to you from our newsroom here at Humber College North Campus. A nurse in Maine who has been ordered into quarantine for 21 days has defied her home isolation early. She's threatening to go to court if the state doesn't back down. 33-year-old Kaci Hickox took her challenge a step further today by going on a bike ride.
Kaci, there's no legal action against me, so I'm free to go on a bike ride in my hometown.
What is the status of the court order, Kaci?
I don't know. When you find out, you tell me.
She tested negative twice for Ebola after returning from West Africa. Hickox says her last contact with an Ebola patient was just over a week ago. She says home quarantine is no longer necessary and she won't be politically bullied. A Maine health official says the state is prepared to press charges if people won't avoid public contact.
Is to stay at home. Here today to give you an update on Maine's response to the Ebola crisis. We will make it mandatory. It is certainly in everyone's best interest to just cooperate and work with us to minimize contact.
The health official says Maine will make it mandatory for the nurse to stay home in order to protect her and the public. Russian bombers have been spotted over the Atlantic in what NATO officials call an unusual burst of activity. NATO aircraft tracked bombers and fighter jets over the Baltic yesterday. Some of the planes flew close enough to borders to scramble NATO jets. A NATO official says there's been no violation of NATO airspace, but the large number of incidents in one day is rare. Observers say it's especially unusual at a tense time in East-West relations. Molten lava is threatening homes in Hawaii. The lava has been flowing towards Pahoa for several weeks. It moved through a presidential property and already incinerated a building in the outskirts of the town. Authorities say it advanced nearly 200 meters away from the town's main street yesterday. About 50 residents have been advised to evacuate their homes. The lava is estimated to be flowing at around 10 meters per hour and will eventually reach the ocean, which is still 10 kilometers away. Officials say there is no hope left in finding any survivors under the mud and rubble of yesterday's devastating landslide in Sri Lanka. Hundreds are feared missing or dead after the 3-kilometer landslide engulfed a village near Colombo. Days of heavy rains caused the landslide, burying more than 100 homes. Nearly 500 people, mostly children, spent the night at a nearby school after warnings of more landslides. Thousands of protesters in the West African nation of Burkina Faso have stormed a parliament building and set it on fire. Emergency services say at least 3 protesters have been shot dead in the chaos. They took to the streets of the capital to denounce the president's attempt to seek re-election for a 5th term. President Blaise Compaoré was expected to step down next year, but now he's trying to stay in office. The protesters fought through tear gas and ransacked the building, forcing the president to abandon this plan. Protesters say they are sick and tired of Compaoré's rule and won't stop until he steps down. More allegations are emerging today against former CBC radio host Ghomeshi. So far, 8 women have accused Ghomeshi of sexual and physical abuse. The latest was Trailer Park Boys actress Lucy Decoutier. Although the other women have made their charges anonymously, Decoutier was the first woman to speak on a record. She spoke publicly for the first time today on the CBC radio program, The Current.
He did take me by the throat and press me against the wall and choke me. And he did slap me across the face a couple of times.
The CBC fired Ghomeshi on Sunday. He's suing the corporation for $55 million. None of the allegations have been proven in court. Meanwhile, in New York City, a street harassment video has become a viral sensation. The video shows actress Shoshana Roberts being verbally harassed while walking through the streets of New York. The clip was taken over a 10-hour span in which Roberts was harassed more than 100 times. Roberts says the video was meant to hit a nerve in society. The Great Isaiah Dead Sea Scrolls is on display today for the first time in Asia. The 7-meter scroll, along with other artifacts, are being presented in an exhibition at the Asian Society in Hong Kong.
The prophet Isaiah is identified with the concept of universal peace. So therefore, in our travel days, I think that still the message by Isaiah pronounced 2,800 years ago in Israel is still relevant for us as modern human beings.
Discovered in 1947, the scroll dates back to 120 BCE. It's the only near-complete version of any biblical book among the Dead Sea Scrolls. Pottery tools and stone fragments from the Temple Mount complex are also on display.
These artifacts are really humanity, a part of our humanity, whether you're Christian, Jews, Muslim. I think that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring this to Hong Kong.
The Isaiah Scroll is considered one of the world's greatest archaeological finds in recent history. Closer to home, Humber students are gearing up to put the razors down. It's the start of November, and beard lovers' favorite month. And Humber News' Earl Abulahan is down in the concourse for the Movember's official launch party. Earl?
Hi, Travis. Thank you so much. What are you doing for Movember? Are you going to grow a double handlebar mustache?
I don't know, Earl. I don't think I have the cheeks to support that look.
You and me both, brother. Well, I'm sure I'm going to see one of those looks here today at the Humber Concourse for the start of Movember celebrations. With November just 2 days away, the Humber firefighters are just some of the many shaving their faces to grow a great mustache or epic beard for men's health issues. Since the movement began in 2003, it has raised over $550 million in 21 countries, raising awareness for prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and mental health issues. And today, students celebrated with live music and on-site shave down, which was open for all, including myself. Many students showed up to show their support with the event going on till 3 today. All right, we're here with Nisha D'Souza, one of the event planning students for the event. Nisha, what are you guys doing to make this a fun event for students who come down to the concourse?
Yeah, so today we have a shave down going on, so everyone gets to go down to their bare skin, and we also have some swag and some cupcakes, and then we're having an event at the Cadillac Lounge on November 27th, and we have all our information available on our website at mostwantedto.com or at mostwantedto if you're on Twitter or Instagram.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Live from the Humber Concourse, I'm Earl Abulahan for Humber News. Back to you, Travis.
When we come back, we'll tell you what's happening in the world of sports, and Adriana Zhang will have your 3-day forecast.
We'll be seeing some periods of sun and clouds today with a high of 9, dropping down to a low of 6. We'll have your 3-day weather forecast after the break.
But before the break, we leave you with this. Wednesday marked the 10th anniversary of the Symphony of Lights in Hong Kong. 3D images light up Hong Kong's harbor skyline. Images are projected on screens that are attached to buildings along the harbor. The 15-minute light show will run every night until November 16th.